ESPN Fantasy Baseball is back, and it's free. Go to ESPN.com/fantasybaseball or download the brand new app to sign up today. With Jessica Mendoza, Aaron Boone, Buster Olney, I'm Dan Schulman. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning here at Scottsdale Stadium with the Cubs leading the Giants 15-14. And Neil Ramirez is into the game now for the Cubs. You can see he dealt with some injuries last year. Didn't have the kind of year, nowhere close to the kind of year that he did the season before. Trying to pitch his way back into a prominent role with the Cubs. He is a guy who is out of options, so if they try to send him down, they risk losing him. Had some shoulder issues last year. That's why he only made the 19 appearances. Kelby Tomlinson leads it off for the Giants. And is in the hole 0-2. Tomlinson is 1 for 3 with a walk. So Tomlinson, I think based on the way he swung the bat the last couple of months last year, obviously figures to stick with this team, not as a starter, but he can play second, third, can play some short. Bat off the bench as well. Chopper towards short. Kawasaki on the run, one down. Let's go down to Buster again.
Yeah, guys, in the Cactus League, a lot of conversation about starting pitching issues. We talked about the Giants and how they're looking to get a turnaround with performance. The Dodgers, all those injuries. And the Angels, questions about Jared Weaver's velocity. C.J. Wilson, when will he be back? Zach Greinke arrives on the scene with Booney's Diamondbacks. A lot of conversations going to be had this summer about the Dodgers and the question of whether or not they shouldn't have let Greinke go. And the Cubs are the favorite, handling it the Madden way.
I think that what's going on in Dodger camp right now, unfortunately for them, with all the injuries in their rotation. Andre Ethier out for a long time. Seager with a bum knee right now. You talked about their depth there, and they're going to need it. They're a banged up group. Right now.
In the one area where they're not overly deep is at shortstop. So Seager becomes imperative that he's able to play at the level we're expecting him to play at. So yeah, they're having to tap into that depth, I think, a lot earlier than they anticipated when they put this team together in the offseason.
When you think about Ethier going down, that's probably the one on the opposite end of things where they had the most depth.
Yep.
They have got Carl Crawford, who was going to be the starter. Well, Ethier was going to be the starter. They were going to platoon a bit. Then Scott Van Slyke, who can also play out there. That's an area that they don't want to lose him, but they definitely have some guys that can play behind him. And I like Kenta Maeda a lot, too. Someone who they acquired from Japan. I watched one of his outings, and, man, talk about just hitting his spots.
Blanco lifts a fly ball into left field for out number 2.
And one of the questions that's going to continue all summer, guys, is, especially if the Dodgers aren't in first place, was the decision over Greinke replayed over and over and over again according to where the standings are, because in the end the Dodgers were outbid. The team that spends more money than any other team in baseball lost one of the best pitchers in baseball. They decided to focus more on depth rather than spend a lot of money on an older pitcher, and let's face it, that's going to be a decision that's going to be viewed through the prism of the results.
Could be a really interesting race in the National League West. The Diamondbacks have definitely put themselves into the conversation with the pickups of Greinke and Miller, and a guy we were talking on the field before the game with Patrick Corbin healthy again now. I mean, that's a big time arm that looks like they're getting back.
Yeah, and I think they have, as well as obviously Goldschmidt, A.J. Pollock, who's dealing with an injury right now, an elbow issue, another star player. But I think they've got good depth throughout the position players, that they have some pretty good competition going on at places. We've seen what they've become kind of offensively and defensively the last couple of years. Now can that pitching catch up and become a championship caliber pitching staff?
Well, that was the one thing that was missing. This team was a fun team to watch. I live on the West Coast, so I saw a lot of Diamondbacks games, and this team would score 8-9 runs and lose. And when you talk about Paul Goldschmidt, A.J. Pollock, but also a guy like David Peralta, I mean, there's a lot of names on this team that don't get talked about. I mean, when you're thinking Paul Goldschmidt is underrated and he's the best hitter on that team, there's a whole slew of hitters that allowed them to be one of the top offenses in the National League. But now they get noticed because of Greinke, because of Miller. And it's going to be interesting, especially when they go up against these bad boys, the Giants and the Dodgers.
Trevor Brown, a young catcher for the Giants, fouls it off. Brown's having a good spring, hitting over 350. Missed a couple of days with a bruised forearm, but getting a bit more of an opportunity because Andrew Susac, who was to have been and probably eventually still will be the backup to Buster Posey, has a bone bruise in his wrist and is still feeling some discomfort. So Brown's getting a little bit more of an opportunity.
I think Trevor Brown was making it a pretty good competition, though, even before Susac went down. He's been hitting the ball very well. A lot of the pitchers have been talking about his ability also behind the plate. I think nothing being set in stone. And I think a lot of times when you think about Posey and him playing first base, who do you want behind there that no one's going to replace him? But it's got to be someone that can swing the bat too, and Trevor Brown's showing he can do it.
Check the swing, and the count is full. Back to the Dodgers for a moment. You talked about Maeda and how you've been impressed by him. Alex Wood, it felt like he came into, or heading into the season, as maybe could be the 5th, could be the swing guy. Now he's the number 4 guy because of the injury. Scott Kazmir's in the rotation. They don't know when Ryu's going to be back. Over the mound, charged by Kawasaki, and they get him. 8 complete in Scottsdale. Cubs up a run.
My office needs new laptops at a great price.
Well, Staples has low prices and a price match guarantee.
I took a body language class once, and the way you're standing could mean you're hiding something.
Oh, Staples has low prices.
Okay, now you're shouting. We can hear ya!
The lowest price every time. Staples. Make more happen.
Eyes.
Toes.
Noses.
Hormones know, too.
Dogs know.
Kids know.
Kids who think their dogs know. Scots. It's good out here. You can't have a hero if you don't have a villain. The world needs villains. And villains need cars.
Opening day and night. 7 games, 2 days. Clayton will be there with nasty stuff. Kutch with all 5 tools. And Trout, who knows what he'll do next. Baseball is back, and not a moment too soon. Games all day, April 3rd and 4th on ESPN, and streaming live on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app, presented by Scott's.
Celebrating its 20th anniversary, Scott's MLB Pitch, Hit, and Run is the official youth skills competition of Major League Baseball. Get your community involved by hosting a local competition. Sign up for free to host at pitchhitrun.com.
Opening day not that far away. A week from Sunday, the 3rd of April, we've got a triple header for you here on the ESPN family of networks. The first game of the season comes your way from Pittsburgh. The Pirates hosting their divisional rival, the Cardinals. The Blue Jays and Rays at 4 Eastern on ESPN2. And then we'll be in Kansas City, the home of the World Series champion Royals. It's a rematch of the World Series. The Mets and the Royals at 8:30 Eastern time, Sunday night, April the 3rd. Top of the 9th inning here in Scottsdale. Cubs 15, Giants 14. Hunter Strickland is the new pitcher for the Giants. Albert Almora is the batter. Strickland last year had a 2.45 ERA in 55 appearances. All fans of the sport remember the home run issues, the trouble that he had in the playoffs of 2014. Last year, he only gave up 4 homers in 51 1/3 innings, and by all accounts, guys, he is continuing to work on the secondary pitches now, not just throwing fastballs and throwing as hard as he can to get out of jams. Part of the evolution of a young pitcher.
Yeah, and I think we'll continue to take on a greater role at the back end of this Giant bullpen. Again, a bullpen that figures to be very strong. Remember, Jeremy Affeldt, the longtime reliable reliever from the left side, has retired. And it's now time for guys like Strickland to take that next step and become, you know, an elite back end of the bullpen reliever.
And I think he did a bit last year. You know, his walk rate went down, which was a concern. You know, obviously him having control, being a younger guy, and then his strikeouts versus righties, his ground ball rate versus lefties. I mean, the things you want to see from the type of pitcher that Strickland is.
Broken bat base hit for Almora, his second hit in as many at bats. That'll bring up Jesus Guzman. Guzman spent a little time with the Giants in '09. He's been a Padre and an Astro as well. Played in Japan last year. First baseman, outfielder. Sends the fastball down the right field line, but can't get it quite fair. Well, I think the big stories, if you look back at this game, if there's such a thing as big stories in spring training games, it involves the two starting pitchers, Jake Arrieta and Madison Bumgarner. Arrieta leading after a third of an inning, having given up 5 runs, a blister on his thumb. He says he's ready to take his bullpen on Tuesday, and he doesn't think it'll be a problem. Bumgarner, the numbers won't look very good, but he felt there was progress. He gave up 5 runs in 3 2/3, but he got the pitch count up. What did you guys think about what you saw? Let's start with Bumgarner, considering he was out there a little bit longer.
You know, I think Bumgarner, I think there is a little bit of concern just because it is a timing thing. You know, I think it's an easier fix. It's not like it's a huge mechanical problem, but he talked about it in his last 2 starts, and it's yet to be fixed. So, of course, when you're thinking about he gets 1 more start before opening day, that's a little bit of a concern this time.
Let's take a look at his day.
Definitely struggled a little bit at times with his release point. Had some good signs, but look, I think for a guy like Madison Bumgarner, who's been one of the game's ace, who from an age standpoint is absolutely in the prime of his career and has the track record that he has, for him, it's about being healthy and having a couple of minor things with the rib and the toe earlier in spring training. The fact that he looks like he's beyond that, he was able to get his pitch count up near 80. And that could potentially go up again. I'm not overly concerned about where Madison Bumgarner is as they get ready to start the season.
A lot of starting pitchers, that second last start, which was this one for Bumgarner, that's their real get into regular season mode. The last one, they kind of throttle back, just stay loose, don't throw quite as many pitches. But it wouldn't surprise you at all, guys, if he went out there and was typical Madison Bumgarner on opening night?
Not at all.
It wouldn't surprise me at all. I still think it's just a concern in the standpoint that he doesn't have a lot of time to fix something like that. But, like you mentioned, of all guys, I mean, this is somebody he's not going to let him affect him mentally. He's not going to make a big deal of it. In fact, the way Buster reported earlier, speaking after the game, he said, you know, I feel good about today. And I think he really means it. I don't think that's fluff.
Almora steals third.
I think, too, guys, we have to remember in all these games in the spring is that you don't have that dollop of adrenaline that you have during the regular season, and especially as players get older, and Booney could certainly speak to this, it seems like that can make a difference with spring training performance.
You can speak to older players.
Well, and I think with pitchers especially established, and in Bumgarner's case, a big-time pitcher, I think they truly use spring training to work on things. And Buster Posey had talked about him, that he loves to tinker with things. And I think spring training, more than any time, is a time for an established starting pitcher to tinker with things and to work on things. And I think that's what we're continuing to see with Bumgarner here in late March.
And it's something Jeff Samardzija has said as well. I mean, he's really been trying to hone in on that split finger fastball, trying to really pull the string a little bit more on that pitch, get a little bit of variance and velocity between that and his faster stuff. So he's another guy that has struggled in spring training, thrown some red flags outside of the Giants clubhouse. But for him, he's saying, I'm exactly where I want to be. So I'm not so concerned with the starting pitching as a whole, because this is the time to work on stuff. But I think it's getting to go time. You don't want that fixing things to continue into April.
1 ball, 2 strikes. The count remains on Andrioli. 15-14. The Cubs lead the Giants.
This could be a time Strickland, man on third base, 1 out. He just showed a fastball there in on the hands. Let's see if now he goes to that secondary, that slider, which continues to become more and more of a weapon. He wants that strikeout in this situation. Nope, coming up and in with that heater again.
Missed high.
That one set it up, maybe. Come back now with the slider.
Good throw him a breaking ball, but he didn't get it down and away. Over the heart of the plate, and it's fouled off by Andrioli. Double up on the slider?
Yeah, I think locate it where you want. Seeing a pretty good at bat right here. Got the 2 strikes with a power pitcher here. He hasn't chased. He's been able to spoil the fastballs, the good ones in on his hands. But he's in position, I think, to still handle mistake out over the plate. Knowing that, hey, I just want to get this run in here. I got the infield in. I want to get something I can just get in the air in the middle of the field. Add on another run.
Coming in again. Fly ball to right field. Got some carry on it. Caught on the track. Runner will come home on the sac fly, and the Cubs add a run. So we talked about Madison Bumgarner's afternoon or evening here in Arizona. Go back to the beginning of the game, and Jake Arrieta, as we found out later, had a blister on his thumb. He said he couldn't finish his pitches. Tough gripping, tough locating, and just kind of a lost day for Arrieta, who didn't get a lot of work in.
Jess, what struck me there is how much Miguel Montero would move his glove really across the plate. And I think that blister was clearly not only affecting his ability to finish, as he talked about, but the command of those pitches.
Yeah, and I think they go hand in hand. And the pop, too. I mean, the velocity was down, and that's something that's huge in setting up his pitches. So you saw a lot of those fastballs. A couple of them didn't have bad movement, but they were slower and not placed exactly where he wanted them. But I don't think it's obviously a huge concern if they handle it correctly.
Right.
You mentioned that a blister, it sounds, I think, to maybe the average person, it's like, it's a small little blister. What's the big deal? Well, for a pitcher, I mean, being able to grip the seam is everything. And his thumb and his finish is really the key to what Arrieta does so well. He has a crossfire, and if he doesn't finish because of what his front leg does, he's not going to be successful.
Matt Merton with a base hit up the middle. And that'll bring up Kawasaki again. Cubs up 16-14. Fans hanging in here, hoping for a foul ball, hoping for a Giants comeback. You can see the Cardinals and the Mets tomorrow as our spring training coverage continues.
Jacob deGrom tomorrow?
I'm not sure. Now you got him scrambling down in the truck.
I know his wife is due to have their first child, and that was part of the decision to start Matt Harvey in opening day. I mean, it was a discussion on whether it would be deGrom or Harvey, but the fact that his wife, I think, is due around April 4th, which is the day after the game. Didn't want that question mark.
It is DeGrom tomorrow for the Mets. Three and 0 on the count on Kawasaki. Still waiting to hear, as we discussed a little bit earlier, if the Royals are going to choose Ventura or Volquez for opening night on April the 3rd. Strickland's given up a run on a couple of hits, trying to finish off the Cubs here in the top of the 9th. The runner goes, pitch in for a strike, throw down, not in time. So Merton with a stolen base and a full count now on Kawasaki. He's funny.
He really is.
He's really funny.
You know,
he loves to play.
And he does.
Yeah.
In the previous inning, he made a couple nice plays at shortstop after the first out, a nice solid fist pump. And then he comes in after that last play of the inning where he charged and made another nice running play. He kind of.
Yeah. I'll tell you, someone who lives in Toronto, I mean, he was the 25th man when he was in the majors, and he wasn't even in the majors all that much. And he has a following in that city like you would not believe.
Yep.
And if he gets a chance to come up and play for the Cubs, the same thing will happen in Chicago. Sports Center following us here on ESPN tonight. Top of the 9th here in Scottsdale, with the Cubs leading the Giants 16-14.
Well,
24.
someone who's probably not a big follower of Kawasaki is Hunter Strickland, because he's wasted pretty much every pitch Strickland has thrown at him, even throwing it as bad as some of them, just saying, give me what I want.
And a swing and a miss to get him and end the inning. We go to the bottom of the 9th. The Giants coming up down 2.
Today.
Looks like we got ourselves a good old-fashioned dad-off.
Buy Daddy's Home on Blu-ray.
Did you just punch me in the face, Brad?
Yes. And get $15 off sports tickets.
This one's for Dylan and Megan.
Daddy's Home. Own it on Blu-ray today.
Driving out on the open road together is great. But I think women would agree, getting home to cuddle up with their man is nice too. But here's the thing, about half of men over 40 have some degree of erectile dysfunction. Well, Viagra helps guys with ED get and keep an erection.
Ask your doctor if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Viagra if you take nitrates for chest pain or Adempas for pulmonary hypertension. Your blood pressure could drop to an unsafe level. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. Stop taking Viagra and call your doctor right away if you experience a sudden decrease or loss in vision or hearing.
Ask your doctor about Viagra.
Available in single packs.
From the first pitch to the final swing, we are a team. The most valuable player doesn't always wear a uniform.
Thank you.
Everyone has a position. Everyone makes a difference. And nothing brings communities together like Little League.
There's real evil lurking on your lawn. Weeds. Evil weeds. And you need the power of the new Scott's Turf Builder Weed and Feed to destroy them. Now twice as effective, Scott's Weed Grip Particle Technology sticks to weeds, strangling them with a death grip, while still greening your lawn. Scott's. It's good out here.
Hey, tomorrow on ESPN, we've got more Grapefruit League action for you. The Cardinals take on the Mets at 1 o'clock Eastern time. It'll also be streaming live on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app. Bottom of the 9th. Starling Peralta is the 7th pitcher for the Cubs. 25-year-old right-hander. Pitched last year at Single A and Double A. Double A 39 appearances, had an ERA under 2. Connor Gillespie rips one right to second, caught by Negron, 1 down.
So, guys, I went to the Giants dugout to try to get an estimate on how many baseballs have been used in tonight's game. And I spoke with 2 bat boys, 2 excellent sources. One gave me the estimate of 5 dozen, and the other gave me the estimate of 100 dozen.
100 dozen.
What are the ages of these?
I think
ball
it was
boys?
somewhere between there. That's what I'm going to go with.
5 and 100.
1 down here in the bottom of the 9th.
Buster's still working, though.
Buster never stops working.
Buster knows. He has a hat.
Here's Gutierrez. He does have a hat. There's a strike.
Hi, Georgie.
They had plenty. They don't have nearly that many anymore. This ball is hit a ton down the right field line, but foul. Man.
Yeah, that ball was headed for Mesa right there.
Wow. That's an impressive foul ball.
That's the best, though. As a left-handed hitter, you get something on your hands and you just, I mean, you crush it into the darkness is what he just did.
And then he gets rung up on a pitch at the knees, 2 down.
I feel like those never fare well, Booney. Like when you crush a ball foul, I always like, dang, because you know, it's not very like you follow up with a home run.
No, and how about a little cheese at the knees or just below, and maybe a little 4-hour plus generous strike zone, a little low there. Thanks for coming.
Jared Parker, the batter. Parker hit one a long way to straightaway center field his last time up for a stand-up triple. Golfed in the air to left field, deep but playable, and the game is over. Cubs 16, Giants 14. Here in Scottsdale. For Aaron Boone, Jessica Mendoza, Buster Olney, and our crew, I'm Dan Schulman saying good night from Scottsdale Stadium. Time now for Sports Center. Let's send you back to the studio.
This is Sports Center from Los Angeles.
Hey, welcome to the show. I'm Stan Barrett. Neil Everett is off. He's watching his Oregon Ducks against Duke in the Sweet 16 over in Anaheim. We're going to check on that game and see whether Neil's having a good time or not in a few minutes. That was one of 4 regional semifinal games tonight. 2 of them are already over. Let's start in the West. One of the 2 games that are over. Texas A&M taking on Oklahoma. Early game in Anaheim. 3 seed Texas A&M. 2 seed Oklahoma. And Buddy Hield started slowly. For him, Hield 2 for 5 from the field to that point. Maybe a little superstitious here. 89% free throw shooter. Misses here, so he decides he's going to take off his shooting sleeve. Made the second free throw. Now, no sleeve, no problem. Gets to the basket. Then with Oklahoma up 16, Hield for 3. He averaged 32 points per game in the first 2 wins for Oklahoma. Didn't need to do that much in this game. Now he's going to put the sleeve back on, looking to keep himself going. And another three-pointer. Hield 17 points, 10 rebounds. Oklahoma wins at 77-63. He wasn't the big star, though. It was Jordan Woodard, 5 for 6 on threes in this game for 22 points for him. He was one of 5 scorers for the Sooners in double figures as they spread the wealth around in this game. Oklahoma in the Elite Eight for the first time since 2009. They're going to face the Duke-Oregon winner on Saturday to try to get to the Final Four for the first time since 2002. They did it on defense, too. They held the Aggies to just 34% shooting from the floor. And Hield is just fine with sharing the love.
I had good opportunities if I miss a layup and 2 free throws, but I got a couple backdoor opportunities, and we was able to read the defense, and our coach did a great job. I was just, sticking with our game plan, and whether they double team me or not, we was able to find shooters. And hats off to Jordan and Christian that opened the game. I feel like with that shot making ability, they opened the games up for us, and Jordan played a really good game, and guys that need to step up, and I'm proud of Jordan and Christian really stepped up for us.
I feel like each step we get more locked in because we're getting closer to where we want to be. Coaches, they really just draw up great game plans for us to execute, and it's our job to go execute it. So as a team, we just got to stay locked in.
Give a lot of credit to Oklahoma. They came out prepared and ready to go, and the shots that we usually make weren't falling. And it's a tough way to go out. It's a sad moment, and somehow me and the rest of the team got to get over it.
Oklahoma's going to move on in the Elite Eight for the 6th time. Again, they last reached the Elite Eight in 2009. Blake Griffin and the Sooners lost to North Carolina. Sooners last made the Final Four, as we mentioned, in 2002. They also got there in 1988. Up next for them, the Oregon-Duke winner. All right, from the South region, another 2-3 matchup. This one in Louisville, Angel Hernandez in Miami taking on Villanova. Shot clock winding down. Ryan Arcidiacono to Chris Jenkins. Way out there. He's got no conscience, but he's got range. 21 points. Villanova, the 3rd best shooting percentage in the tournament game since '85. They shot nearly 63%. Jenkins for 3 more. 21 for him. 5 of 6 from three-point range. Villanova up 13. Then Arcidiacono got involved. 3 of his own. He had 21 as well. 10 of 15 from 3 for the Wildcats. Raleigh Massimino won it all in '85 there to check it out. Villanova moving on to the Elite Eight. They take it 92-69. It wasn't just from the floor and from the three. They were also 18 and 19 from the free throw line. Just a superb shooting effort for them overall. Sheldon McClellan, 26 from Miami. Angel Rodriguez, 13. 17 points from Daniel Oshefo for Villanova. And Villanova never trailed in this game. All right, we bring in Sean Farnham now to break down some of what we saw in these first 2 games. Boy, what a shooting performance from Villanova. How'd they do that?
I think, put this into perspective, they shot 67% from three-point line, 93% from the three-point line. Their worst shooting percentage was actually inside the arc, where they were a measly 61% on the game. Unbelievable.
I'm sure Jay Wright can live with that.
Somehow, some way. But I'll tell you one of the things that impressed me most, floor spacing and understanding where their position is out on the floor. The ball gets sent down low on the block. The defense has to react because you've got 4 perimeter players, 1 cutting down the lane. Great cone vision. Arcidiacono from 3, feet squared underneath him. It created a long run out. Excellent job spacing the floor for Villanova and their offense. The one thing that's impressed me more than anything about Villanova, not just at the offense end, defensive end, I haven't seen them take a playoff so far in this NCAA tournament. They just get after you at both ends of the floor and wear you down.
A great defensive effort from them. Great balanced offensive effort from Oklahoma. How were the Sooners able to keep this from becoming just the Buddy Hield show?
Well, I think defensively, Texas A&M did a nice job trying, at least initially, trying to take Buddy Hield out of it and force it to be a 4-on-4 game. So when you watch the first half and you see the attention to detail, Buddy Hield goes out of your screen. His defensive player is standing them. Now you got a 4-on-4 game in a lot of space. It allows you to play one-on-one basketball and feel comfortable. This time, they literally almost pass it to the back of the defensive player who has no awareness of where the ball was. It was a no-help defense all night long off of Buddy Hield, and because of that, you saw other players step up, and as you mentioned, 5 guys in double figures. Hield had 17, but it was the rest of the team that kind of elevated their play. And Texas A&M's bench, they never got into it tonight. Just 3 of 20 from the field. They averaged 25 points per game off the bench usually.
Wow, and you don't want to be the next team that plays Hield because, even though they got
He's going to get his.
He's going to get his next time out. All right, Sean, appreciate it.
No problem.
Thanks for coming by. All right, 2 games still in progress. Maryland and Kansas. It's 59-48 right now. Kansas, the top overall seed in the tournament. They were trailing in this game for much of the first half, but midway through the second half right now, Perry Ellis leading the way, 25 points. Wayne Selden with 16. Rashid Suleiman leading the way for Maryland with 16 points. Melo Trimble with 13. Keep you posted on this one. Highlights when they're done. All right, let's go NBA. Russell Westbrook triple-doubles in his previous 3 games and 5 of the previous 6. Oscar Robertson, Wilt Chamberlain, Magic Johnson, only NBA players with multiple streaks of 4 straight triple-doubles. Westbrook could join them. This was a blowout, so Westbrook came up just short. He didn't play long enough. Kevin Durant to Westbrook for the finish. He had 15 points. He had 7 rebounds. Hooking up Steven Adams there. And then Westbrook able to tip it back in after Adams misses. And then Westbrook says, give me that. Outlet to Kevin Durant. That was one of his 9 assists. He did all that in 27 minutes. Didn't play in the fourth, but we did see some history, or at least a personal milestone. Thunder up 18, closing seconds of the third. Durant, at least 20 points now for a career best 57 straight games, 20 points, 9 assists, 8 rebounds. Thunder take it 113-91. LeBron James and the Cavaliers in Brooklyn to face the Nets, second of back-to-backs for the Cavaliers after beating the Bucks in Cleveland on Wednesday, but nobody's resting, including LeBron James. Now, that was the big dunk he threw down against the Bucks, and he did the same thing. So this time not on a oop, he did it off the bounce this time. And then, was that a sky hook? And then a fadeaway? James, 13 of 14. He had 30 points through 3 quarters. Fourth quarter, different story. James is on the bench. Matthew Dellavedova way out there knocking it down. Cavaliers by 2. So James comes back in, 5:41 left. Kyrie Irving gives it to him, but he can't finish there. He was scoreless in the fourth. Bojan Bogdanovic with the layup. James takes an arm to the face. He wanted the offensive foul, didn't get it. Kyrie Irving didn't get much of anything. 1 for 8 from 3, 6 for 22 from the floor. Brooklyn a 14-0 run to put it away. Cavaliers go down.
I don't think we started the game with a lot of energy. I think we, expended a lot coming back in that third quarter to try to get back in the game, which we did. And then we had a rough start to the fourth quarter. It kind of gave them momentum back. So I don't know if it's taking them lightly or just our approach. But we definitely didn't have the right approach as we had last night. We still got 10 games left, I believe. We're going to continue to work our habits, continue to get in the film session, and get ready for the postseason.
Again, James checked in with 5:41 left in the fourth. Cavaliers were up 92-90, but then that 14-0 run from Brooklyn happened right there with James on the court. Cavaliers 0 for 9, including 0 for 7 from three-point range, and they got out-rebounded 12-3 in that stretch. James minus 14 plus-minus in the fourth quarter, his worst since returning to the Cavaliers last season. All right, more SportsCenter coming up from L.A. North Dakota State's Carson Wentz had his pro day today. Ron Jaworski was there. We got his breakdown coming up. Yoenis Cespedes, you remember that forgettable moment in center field during the World Series? Had another one, though it was just a spring training game today. And at the Match Play Championships, Daniel Berger lost his club and lost his match, too, thanks to a rock. We'll explain. More SportsCenter from L.A. coming up.
The Lexus Command Performance Sales Event is on, with extraordinary offers on the exhilarating IS, the thrilling GS, and the powerful RC Coupe. This is the pursuit of perfection.
Well, here I am.
The greatest gladiator match in the history of the world.
Rated PG-13.
The art of rebounding is you have to assume that everything's a miss. Rebounds from my team and a rebound from my body. That's what I'm building with chocolate milk. Nutrients to refuel, protein to rebuild, backed by science.
Fact. There's an Advil specially made for fast relief that goes to work in minutes. The only Advil with the rapid release formula for rapid relief of tough pain. Look for Advil film-coated in the white box. Relief doesn't get any faster than this. Advil.
I'm a competitive eater. Flame grilled hot dogs from Burger King.
could eat 100 of these, but I'm not gonna, because I respect it too much.
Introducing Grill Dogs, flame grilled to perfection and made with 100% beef. Get them now, only at Burger King.
He's pretty much guaranteed to never drop the ball. And with the Fairfield 100% guarantee, you know that we'll never drop the ball either. Because you're our #1 priority. Fairfield Inn & Suites by Marriott.
Dude, you're in a video game.
Yo, time to get famous.
Is that the ground?
Boo.
Keep your head in the game.
Do you have what it takes? What if you get sent down? Into the show! Are you...
Focus.
Rated E for everyone.
PlayStation.
Weeds. Nature's boomerang. At Roundup, we know they keep coming back. You never invited this stubborn little rascal to your patio, so draw the line. One spray of Roundup Max Control 365 kills to the root and keeps weeds away for up to 12 months. Because patios should be for cooking out and kicking back. Roundup Max Control 365. Draw the line. Prevent weeds from coming back for up to 1 year.
One shot that we fire at the sky, but this time we are together. Right here in this moment where we belong. Now that I found
Need new tires? Right now at Pep Boys, when you buy 3 tires, you get the 4th tire free instantly. Plus, get up to $70 off select Cooper tires. Trust the boys to get you there.
You know that saying, this ain't my first rodeo? Well, it's his. Whatever your mountain, climb on.
Sports Center, brought to you by Red's Apple Ale. Pick different. Dick's Sporting Goods, proud to employ and support hundreds of Team USA contenders. And AT&T, mobilizing your world.
Clippers back at home across the street from our studio here after that loss to the Warriors last night in Oakland, taking on the Blazers. Clippers down 3. Chris Paul makes a layup. Uh-oh. Comes down awkwardly. And appeared to tweak a knee, but did return to the game. The Clippers up 3 right now on the Blazers. Second day of matches is the World Golf Championship, Match Play Championship from Austin Country Club. Jordan Spieth against France's Victor Dubuisson. Spieth on 5, his second shot. We win the hole, go up 3 through 5. On 14, 2 bounces and stop. 2 feet from the hole. We win the match 5 and 4. Winner tie against Justin Thomas, and he's on to the round of 16. It's round robin play in the groups at the Match Play Championship. Phil Mickelson against Daniel Berger. This is on 18. Berger lost his club. How'd that happen? Up against this rock wall. Looks like he has room to swing, but trying to avoid the rock wall, loses the club with a follow-through. Lost the hole, lost the match. Mickelson wins 1 up. He'll take on Patrick Reed in a winner-take-all match to get to the round of 16. Jason Day against Thongchai Jaidi. Day, you may have heard, had some back trouble on Wednesday. Looked like his back was just fine on that drive. The first tee. And that one's going to roll all the way onto the green. And you got to make that one if you drive the green. He did. Eagle to start 1 up. Stretching out the back between shots on 15. This will lead to birdie. Day wins the match 5 and 3. And he's just fine. Win or tie for him against Paul Casey, and he will win his group and move on to the knockout stage of 16.
questions about whether a team can or cannot build its franchise around RG3.
I think we all know he's a talented player. You know, this past year he didn't play. I think he learned a lot. I think he humbled himself a little bit. But I think he's willing to do the work.
Can Robert Griffin III be a viable NFL quarterback again? Well, the Browns apparently believe so, but they were fiscally responsible in placing their bet. Cleveland signed Griffin to a 2-year deal worth $15 million, but only his $3.5 million bonus and his $3.25 million salary for the coming season are guaranteed. The Johnny Manziel fiasco was the latest chapter in the sad story of Browns quarterbacks. They need Griffin as much as he needs them. He's 26 now and anxious to jumpstart his career under Hugh Jackson after all that drama in D.C.
What happened down there would break a lot of people, and I thank God for the people who surrounded me with to help me get through that time and to show me that, you know, this is what I'm supposed to do. This is my calling. So I'm excited about that, and I'm really excited to have another opportunity to grow with a coach that believes in me.
Little shade there, right at the end. Griffin had a terrific rookie season. You remember that. Ranked third in total QBR after throwing 20 touchdowns, just 5 interceptions. Took Washington to the playoffs. But in his next 2 seasons, his QBR was nearly cut in half, and he ranked 28th of 31 qualified quarterbacks over that span. All right, let's talk about this with Adam Schefter. Adam, obviously Griffin needs a place to rejuvenate his career. He's excited about the opportunity with Hugh Jackson and Pep Hamilton. What's the fit like there?
Well, Stan, Cleveland showed more interest than any other team out there. They offered him more money than any team out there. And from the time that he visited Cleveland on Saturday and spent time meeting with and working out for Hugh Jackson, that really seemed to be the place he was destined to land. It's funny because back in 2012, the Cleveland Browns tried to pull off a trade with the St. Louis Rams at that time to get the 2nd overall pick, to get Robert Griffin III. They couldn't get it done. The Washington Redskins offered more. Now the Cleveland Browns get RG3 on a 2-year contract for $15 million. That includes $6.75 million in guaranteed money this year. Doesn't impact their draft plans. They'll still go ahead and are expected to draft a quarterback. But RG3 goes into Cleveland largely because of Hugh Jackson and his interest in him, with the chance to project himself as the starting quarterback on opening day.
All right, so now, Adam, let's talk about that draft pick, because both Mel Kiper and Todd McShay have the Browns going for Carson Wentz at number 2 out of North Dakota State. Do they stick with that plan, or maybe perhaps now wait until later in the draft and go with another quarterback and address another need at number 2?
Stan, the Cleveland Browns have struggled to find a quarterback more than any other team in the league. Since they returned to Cleveland, they've had 24 different starting quarterbacks, none of which has proved to be particularly effective, which is why they're in the position they are right now, and every year looking for a quarterback. So if the Browns can find a way to get 2 quarterbacks in 1 year, good for them. That's something they've been unable to do as a franchise altogether. And right now, their draft plans won't change, and they'll go ahead and they'll take a quarterback at 2. And the chances are, if he's there, Carson Wentz could be the guy. And they'll love to have that problem in Cleveland, where they have RG3, a former 2nd overall pick, and Carson Wentz or Jared Goff, the 2nd overall pick in this year's draft, and they'll take their chances on those quarterbacks. Keep in mind, 2-year deal for RG3, so he's looked at as a starter right away, but eventually they're going to pick the quarterback here, most likely with that 2nd overall pick, and groom that quarterback as the successor of the franchise, so this team doesn't have to go through everything that it's been through when it has struggled to find a quarterback.
All right, Adam, as always, we appreciate the time and the information. They've had plenty of quarterbacks since they returned to the NFL in 1999. Just none of them have stuck. Remember Tim Couch? He was supposed to be the answer. You got Brady Quinn in there. He was supposed to be the future. Colt McCoy, Thad Lewis, Brian Hoyer, Jason Campbell. Then Johnny Football was supposed to lead the resurgence in Cleveland. That didn't happen. Austin Davis. Those guys in the last 4 seasons. 24 starters, and now Robert Griffin could become the 25th, or maybe it'll be Carson Wentz. More on Wentz and his pro day ahead on SportsCenter from L.A.
Every day is better with a cup of Seattle's best coffee. Premium beans, specially roasted for a smooth taste. Drink up.
The Lexus Command Performance Sales Event is on, with extraordinary offers on the stylish all-new RX, and the dynamic NX. This is the pursuit of perfection.
Most buns just hope to keep a hamburger together, but the new bun on Dave's Double brings a hamburger together. The perfect ratio of bun to beef to toppings to other bun. That's the key to the hamburger harmony of Wendy's deliciously different Dave's Double.
You've tried to forget your hepatitis C, but you shouldn't forget this. Hep C is a serious disease. Left untreated, it can lead to liver damage and potentially liver cancer. But you haven't been forgotten. There's never been a better time to rethink your Hep C, because people like you may benefit from scientific advances that could help cure your Hep C. Visit HepCHope.com or call a Hep C educator to help prepare you for a conversation with your Hep C specialist.
3D Touch on iPhone 6s responds to the pressure of your finger, so you can do a ton of stuff in a lot less time. Like look at a site without going to it, or watch a video without opening it. You can do pretty much everything faster. Shooting stuff, music stuff, couch shopping, shoe shopping, running, kind of, checking a flight from an email.
I'm peeking my flight. I'm not peeking my flight. I'm peeking my... Wait, I missed my flight.
Owl photos, desert photos, photos of dolphins, high-stepping man, pizza gifts. It's all faster with 3D Touch on iPhone 6s.
You've lost. The bat is dead. Don't believe everything you hear, son.
The night is here.
Rated PG-13.
This is your moment to start something better. Right now, take advantage of our limited time offers during the Hyundai Seize the Moment sales event. Hurry in and get 0% APR on the 2016 Sonata or lease for just $199 a month, plus $1,000 event cash.
It's a whole new ball game with MLB Extra Innings on DirecTV.
It is magic.
Experience the ultimate season ticket, now at a new lower price.
Unbelievable.
Every punch-out, every rundown,
What a play.
and every walk-off. All at your fingertips. And with MLB.tv included, you can watch nearly 100 live games a week on over 400 supported devices. Don't miss a minute of the action. Follow your favorite team on any screen with MLB Extra Innings on DirecTV. Order now.
Strong. It comes from a place where raw strength is just a starting point. Where doing something means doing it right. Where unrivaled dependability is backed by the strongest warranty in the business. And the only job is a job well done. Welcome to Strongsville. Experience Cub Cadet Strong with the new XT Enduro Series. Find exceptional financing and a dealer near you.
Sports Center is powered by Cub Cadet. Go the extra yard with the XT Enduro Series. With strength built into every detail, Cub Cadet is setting a new standard in the field of lawn care. Welcome to Strongsville.
Woodard will hold the basketball, and the Sooners begin the celebration in Anaheim. The number 2 seed, Oklahoma, is in the Elite Eight for the first time since 2009, dominating Texas A&M.
For more on the Aggies and the Wildcats win on Thursday, Dick Vitale joins us now on SportsCenter. Dick, Buddy Hield didn't have to do it all for Oklahoma in this game. He got plenty of help from Jordan Woodard.
Well, you know, Woodard really was on fire, Stan. He made 5 big threes. He ended up with a big game, but also they got productivity inside as well from Latin, certainly, and Spangler, and that was a big difference. Hield didn't have to put on 25, 30 points. They took charge. Score was 24-20, and then for 9.5 minutes, they held Texas A&M to 3 field goals, and they went on a spurt. Oklahoma really played brilliantly defensively and got a great performance out of Woodard. Hield was just good. Good, and that's all he had to be. He didn't have to be a superstar today. I think anytime they get productivity inside from Latin and Spangler, that's a big plus. Latin usually a great defensive player, but also put on double figures in scoring today, and that certainly helped Oklahoma big time.
Hield did help out on the glass with 10 rebounds. Meanwhile, for Villanova against Miami, there weren't many rebounds to be had for the Wildcats because everything they put up went in. Why were they so successful shooting the ball?
Well, you know, let's think about it. Villanova's been great all year shooting the basketball. In fact, coming into the tournament, they had made 23 threes in the first 2 games in tournament action. Well, in this game, they go for 10 threes for 15. So 33 threes in 3 games, Stan. That's off the charts. And they got great balance. Whether it's Jenkins, who had a big game, or whether it's Hart, or certainly out of the gate was Arcidiacono. He was super right out of the gate, 13 points quickly, like in the first 10 minutes, and then he didn't have to score much after that, had 21 for the game. But they had great balance. I mean, they got guys who can score all over, whether it be Hart, Brunson didn't have a great game scoring, but he passes the ball well. I think when you look at Villanova, they pass the ball well, they handle the ball well, and they shoot very efficiently. I'm telling you, this Villanova team is absolutely legitimate.
And most importantly, Dick, I had both of those teams advancing in my bracket, so that helps too.
Well, so did I. VVDI told you today. The Vital Ball Dome Index, my little bobblehead right here, he told people on SportsCenter, he said today, Oklahoma, baby, and Villanova.
All right, thanks, Dick. I said Aggies win, obviously. It's the Sooners win. Will it be an Oregon win or a Duke win, though? Oregon, putting my co-anchor Neil Everett at ease so far. 57-45, the Ducks lead. Dylan Brooks leading the way, 16 points for him. Brandon Ingram has 22 for Duke. Grayson Allen started very slowly, just 1 for his first 6. It's the Ducks midway through the second half, 57-45. Time for the Coors Light Code Hard Facts. North Carolina and Indiana going to meet for the 3rd time in the NCAA tournament. Indiana won the previous 2. They had Michael Jordan both times. That helps. Marcus Page, 13 points away from passing Jordan for 12th on the Carolina scoring list. And, boy, that gives you some bragging rights to stick your chest out about when you go visit Chapel Hill. You can say that. With a win against Notre Dame, Wisconsin would become the first team to reach 3 straight Elite Eight since Kentucky from 2010 to 2012. Last team to go to 3 straight Final Fours, UCLA, 06 to 08. Syracuse-Gonzaga game will be the 4th game between 2 double-digit seeds in the Sweet 16. If the Zags win, they'll reach 2 straight Elite Eights for the first time, but they've never been to the Final Four. Back to the NBA, Pelicans and Pacers from Indiana, or what's left of the Pelicans. No Anthony Davis, no Tyreke Evans. Pretty much anybody who means anything for the Pelicans in terms of their starting lineup out. Paul George collides with Alonzo G on this play. He heads to the bench, left the game with a lower right leg contusion. Meanwhile, Miles Turner, celebrating his 20th birthday, having a party on the court. George Hill, give it to him. It's his birthday. Check out his dad. Monte Ellis, surprise to Turner, drains the jumper. Ellis to Turner once again. Turner 24 points, 16 rebounds, 3 blocks. Pacers win it 92-84. North Dakota State quarterback Carson Wentz had the spotlight in Fargo today at the Bison's Pro Day. Handled it well. Completed all but 2 of 65 passes to a variety of receivers. He's a projected number 2 pick to the Browns. You heard us talking about that earlier. Ron Jaworski was there for his workout along with Britt McHenry. Here's what they thought.
Thanks, Stan. Well, Jaws, we knew that Carson Wentz is very tall, he's very athletic, he showed mobility, but what really stood out to you from his pro day workout?
I think number one, I wanted to see improvement in his deep ball accuracy. As I went through all my tape study, it was one area that I had some concern with. He was terrific, short to intermediate. He was inconsistent on the deep throw. What we saw today was his ability to connect on the deep throw, the high arcing throw, the proper trajectory, the ball falling out of the sky into receiver's hands. So that was the one box I needed to check, and today I checked it.
Browns head coach Hugh Jackson was behind Carson Wentz whenever he was out there working out. You got a chance to speak with him. What was his reaction like, and how likely is it that the Browns could take Wentz with their number 2 overall pick?
Yeah, as we project Carson Wentz, it's like, who cares what you think, Jaws? It's what the NFL coaches think. And, we were standing on the sideline watching the workout. When the workout was over, I somewhat sprinted out, and I wanted to see what Hugh Jackson had to say about the workout. And I looked at Hugh, and I said, what do you think? And, of course, his eyes lit up. His smile went from ear to ear, and he went, oh, my God. So that was kind of an indication of the type of workout Carson Wentz had today and the feeling the Cleveland Browns have about him for the future.
And then he bolted. A lot going on for the Browns. And everyone does want to hear what you have to say, Josh. So thank you for that. Back to you, Stan.
All right, Britt, proven winner. Wentz coming off a couple of championships in the championship subdivision. Todd McShay has his latest NFL draft rankings out. He has Wentz just ahead of Cal's Jared Goff as a top quarterback prospect. Both of them are in his top 10 overall. Paxton Lynch from Memphis, his third-rated quarterback at 27th overall. Connor Cook and Christian Hackenberg round out the top 5. More SportsCenter coming.
The Lexus Command Performance Sales Event is on, with extraordinary offers on the visionary LS, the generously appointed ES, and the new 8-passenger LX. This is the pursuit of perfection.
This is our lab. It's where we learn everything we know, where we study the athletic body, what it does, and what it's capable of doing. So we can identify the perfect nutrients to fuel it. Your game is our lab, and everything we learn here, we put into here.
We'll go to great lengths to get you hot pizza. Introducing the 2016 Domino's DXP with a built-in warming oven. Order our $5.99 deal and learn more about the DXP at Domino's.com.
Brakes. They aren't complicated. If they act up, stop in the AutoZone. With our help, you can always fix your car with confidence. Hoods up, America. Brake pads.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
George Lopez, you have white man problems.
I got brown man problems too. At ballet, one of the parents tried to hand me their ticket to the car. What's that? That's not funny.
We talked about you trimming back these trees a little.
Manolo, talk to this guy about the trees.
You're not a gardener, are you?
You have an 80% positive rating among Hispanics, not as high among other
Whites.
and Asians.
So you're telling me that could be a problem because my audience is brown?
So I specifically made sure not to say that.
Gotta deal with it. Hey!
Meet Jimmy. He just got his license, and look at him. He's already restoring this beast himself. He gets specialized tools from our free Loan-A-Tool program. With our help, you can always fix your car with confidence. Hoods up, America. Nice.
AutoZone.
Now playing on DirecTV Cinema.
Brad had finally been accepted by his stepkid until
my ex-husband's here.
Dusty came home.
Holy, I'm gonna prove to you that I'm the best. Looks like we got ourselves a dad off. Once good night tickles. Good night back scratches. Wait, who wants 20 bucks? What? What's this? Playoff tickets. I'm bad.
This one's for Dylan and Megan.
Movies start at Channel 125.
Unlimited data from AT&T means you could stream it all. Like that Anthony Michael Hall movie where he fights with the girl. And then there's the one where he gets totally rejected by the girl. Even stream the one where he literally creates the girl. So with unlimited data, you can stream all the Anthony Michael Hall movies you want. I wonder what he's up to these days.
Oh, maybe he's shopping at an AT&T store.
Get unlimited data when you have AT&T Wireless and DirecTV. Plus, get up to $650 in credits per line to help you switch to AT&T.
Bold play of the day comes from Panthers Bruins. Big game in their division. Jimmy Hayes now in the Bruins and a former Panther. His shot stopped by Roberto Luongo, and he lets Hayes know about it. Luongo, 34 saves. Panthers win it 4-1, handing the Bruins their 5th straight loss.
Bold play of the day is brought to you by the bold look of Kohler.
Escobar steps in. First pitch swinging. What else? Fly ball left center. It'll drop between the outfielders and kick away. Escobar's heading home on the first pitch. Inside the park home run.
Could have made the play, but they both shied away.
Just didn't get there.
Disaster strike for the New York Mets.
Not nearly the stakes in a spring training game, but Yoenis Cespedes picking up where he left off last season. Matt Harvey on the mound, taking on the Astros. Top second, A.J. Reed, well hit. Cespedes, not tall enough to get to it. And then he just stands there. He wants a dead ball, but he doesn't get it. The ball's right there. Meanwhile, Reed, he can take his time. He's got inside the park home run. Now, Cespedes hoping to explain that the ball was stuck, but umpire says, dude, that doesn't look stuck to me at all. Astros win at 8-5. Hey, it's only spring training. And we got more from spring training, finishing up the Coors Light Cold Hard Facts. Mike Trout, he's ready. 3-run home run for the Angels in their win over the White Sox, and that came off Chris Sale. Trout, 139 career home runs. That's the most by any American League player through the season in which he turns 24 since Alex Rodriguez. Giancarlo Stanton, his powers, they knocked the lights out.
Coors Light Cold Hard Facts, brought to you by Clean, Crisp Coors Light. For more Cold Hard Facts, visit the new ESPN app.
He didn't really knock the lights out. Technical difficulties there. Friday, NCAA Women's Championship presented by Capital One continues on ESPN. Sweet 16 matchups between 4 and 1 seeds at 7 Eastern. Syracuse squaring off against South Carolina. And then at 9, it's Stanford and Notre Dame from Rupp Arena. Both games also streaming live on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app.
A house is something you buy. A home is something you make yourself. Whatever your mountain, climb on.
Daddy, you done yet?
One last screw, sweetie, and we're done.
Sweet! You deserve the sweet reward of a Diet Dr. Pepper.
I do?
You built this big old house with that tiny tool.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Oh.
That is sweet.
Oh, yeah!
You know, the game's about to start.
That's my ride.
Is that our cat?
Step on her. Real sweet! Diet Dr. Pepper. It's the sweet one.
Welcome back to the Mitsubishi Outlander Sport Network, everybody. We've got 20 minutes till sundown. Will they make it? This might be a good time for all-wheel control. There's the decision. Off-road we go. With a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty and a 2.4-liter engine, they're powering into that final stretch. What a finish with time to spare. This broadcast was brought to you by the new 2016 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport. Make your drive a sport.
Come in now and get 0% APR for 72 months. Today.
You right?
Yeah. Really?
So I'll just be grateful nobody got hurt.
I got hurt.
Buy Daddy's Home on Blu-ray.
This one's with my family. Nothing but that.
And get an exclusive inflatable ball only at Walmart today.
You might think all water is the same, but some water can dribble. Rain threes, even drain a buzzer beater. We're all made of water, so make every drop amazing with Brita.
You are what you drink.
Drink cleaner, healthier, amazing with Brita.
Flimsy microwave bacon tastes, but Wendy's oven-baked bacon tastes. Add it to fresh, never-frozen beef, and you've got a Junior Bacon Cheeseburger. A JBC with 4 nuggets, fries, and a drink is what makes Wendy's 4 for $4 so deliciously different.
What if we invented a paint that's not only in the top of its class, but lets you breathe as deeply as this, or this, or this?
Not guilty.
If it doesn't upset your allergies like paint, is it still paint? Natura is certified asthma and allergy friendly, and you can only find it at your Benjamin Moore retailer.
Can't afford to let heartburn get in the way? Try Nexium 24 Hour, now the #1 selling brand for frequent heartburn. Get complete protection with the new leader in frequent heartburn. That's Nexium Level Protection.
Sports Center, brought to you by DirecTV. Don't just watch TV, DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV. State Farm. Find your agent at statefarm.com. And Clean Crisp Coors Light.
All right, Cold Hard Facts Part 2, Take 2. You get to see Mike Trout hit that home run again. 3-run shot again. This came off Chris Sale. 139 career home runs for Trout already. Giancarlo Stanton, he knows a lot about home runs too. He homered for the second straight day, and the Marlins lost to the Twins. Remember, he hit the 2 longest home runs of the season last year, both of them 484 feet. Max Scherzer struck out 9 in 5 innings. Nationals beat the Cardinals. Scherzer finished top 3 of the majors in strikeouts in each of the last 4 seasons. All right, Scott Van Pelt coming up. It looks like his Maryland team is going to go down to Kansas, but Scott won't be happy with the result, but he'll be professional with the highlights. Scott Van Pelt coming up as soon as we are done here in Los Angeles. Time for tonight's top plays. TCU and Texas leading off at number 10. TCU's Luke Baker with a drive. Patrick Mathis. Oh, yeah, hook him. Texas takes a 4-3. Stars and Coyotes at number 9. Stars on the attack. Les Hemsky, toe drag, gets around the goalie and then tickles the twine. Good-looking goal for Hemsky. Cavaliers and Nets, second night in a row, LeBron James throwing one down, reverse style. Difference is, last night his team won. Some problems in Brooklyn tonight. Nets take it 104-95. Bulls and Knicks at number 7. Derrick Rose. Rose had his first dunk of the season in this game, and he had a pretty impressive up and under reverse layup in this game as well. But the Knicks won, beat the Bulls in a home and home. Simeon Varlamov, the initial save, then lunges across to make the save to deny Wayne Simmons on the rebound. Another look at that one. Michigan Class C semifinals. Hey, they could use some good news in Flint. And Flint Beecher is down 2 seconds ago. Malik Ellison off balance 3 at the buzzer for the win. And the kids from Flint Beecher beat Detroit Loyola. They're moving on to the championship. Canadians and Red Wings. Ben Scrivens. Look at him dive across the crease to make the glove save. Denying Andreas Athanasiou. He can't believe it. Red Wings win it 4-3. South American World Cup qualifiers, Chile and Argentina. Argentina's Angel Di Maria bends it between the defenders and around the keeper. And that's accurate. Argentina wins it 2-1. Number 2, more from Bulls and Knicks. Jose Calderon. Hey, man, the Jets could use somebody who could throw it that accurately. Connecting with Derek Williams. Knicks win at 106-94 over the Bulls. And number 1, Mariners and Rockies. Nelson Cruz. Trevor Story. I mean, he's almost in left field. On his knees, but not surrendering. Mariners take it 10-8. All right, so Neil's at the game. He's having a good time. Ducks up 72-58, trying to finish.
Right now it's mentally. The ball's not going in. I let that affect me on both ends of the floor. It better turn around quick because I want to help this team get to the playoffs.
Let's take a look at Butler's play and how it might have affected his game. In the 48 games before the injury, he was averaging 22 points per game. Post-injury, he's down 7 points per contest. He's also shooting, he's struggling with the shooting in the last 8 games since returning. Our Bulls analyst Kendall Gill gives his take on Butler.
What he said earlier, that it's all mental right now, is absolutely correct. We look at Derrick Rose and we saw how long it took him to come back and start playing at an all-star level now that he is. Off of the 3 knee injuries, it took him a long time, and it may be the same thing with Jimmy. I mean, you can see right now, even when he goes to the basket, he's not explosive. It seems like he doesn't trust his body at this point. If I'm Jimmy, I just close my mouth and I go and I play. Everybody knows that he's not 100%, but you know, if you're going to be one of the top level players on this basketball team and in the league, this is what they do. They gut it out when they're injured, and they gut it out when their teams need them most, and this is when the team needs them most. So if I'm Jimmy Butler, I absolutely do not mention my knee again, and I just go out there and I try and give it my all.
In other injury news, Pau Gasol is questionable for tonight's game against the Magic. He set out one of the losses to the Knicks with knee swelling, and it's the 5th missed game for the big man since March 14th, but Hoiberg clarified that it wasn't necessarily a swelling issue in his right knee as much as it has to do with soreness. It was projected that Marcus Kruger could make his return to game action sometime this month, and that's looking like that sometime is tonight. Kruger has been sidelined for almost 4 months after dislocating his wrist, which required surgery. And after an ugly March, the Hawks will be happy to have the forward back on the ice against Calgary, where once again Scott Darling will be net minding in place of Corey Crawford.
I think it's a great opportunity for Darls, but you know, I can't say enough positive things on how valuable Corey's been to our team this year.
As for the return of Marcus Kruger, he centered the 4th line with Andrew Desjardins and Andrew Shaw. It's a reunion of a line that excelled during the Stanley Cup playoffs last spring.
We tried to work hard, all of us, and I think we all played a little bit of center in the past too, so we can fill positions. So I mean, if someone is out of position, someone else gonna fill in there. So I mean that just gives us more flexibilities and more confidence. And I mean they're 2 good players too, so a lot of fun to play with them.
He's always in the right spots. He's always underneath the puck, which you need as a centerman. And you know, he's just a very intelligent player. So I think it's gonna be great having him back.
Part of our team game's gotten away from the puck support and keeping it, protecting it, and getting offensive zone time. But a lot of times they start in our end and then in the other team's end. And we haven't had big sequences in our games or in our season where that's been the case, and hopefully they can be lead us in that area.
The Hawks have also been missing Kruger's proficiency on the penalty kill and at the face-off circle. The Hawks' penalty kill rate was 82% before he was injured. It is 76% with Kruger out.
We hope to get some predictability with that line, you know, responsibility-wise, energy-wise. It can really be effective for us. And PK, I mean, that's his bread and butter, so hopefully he can help us in that regard. It's definitely been a sore spot for us, and we know the importance of what that can bring to your team. But certainly, you know, that he plays the right way, and we can be better in the face-off circle. So a lot of little intangibles that he adds to our team.
We need all 4 out there that do the job. So, like I said, it's going to be ups and downs, but we got to get that straight pretty soon here.
The Blues began Friday 2 points behind the Stars in the Central as they hosted Vancouver. St. Louis special teams chipping in early as Kyle Brodziak finishes the 3-on-1. A shorthanded goal puts the Blues up 1-0. 5 minutes later, St. Louis adds another. Some tic-tac-toe passing by the Blues. Robbie Fabry finishes with the snipe to make it 2-0 St. Louis. Second period. Blues getting offense from the back end. Carl Gunnarsson sends a fluttering knuckle puck toward the net. That sneaks in somehow for his 3rd tally of the season. The Blues clinch a playoff berth with a 4-0 shutout win. So the Blues win moves them into a tie for first in the Central Division with the Stars. The Hawks are now 6 points back with 8 games left. The important thing to watch for now, the Preds, who are 2 points back of the Hawks in the wild card. And the Blackhawks and Wild are teaming up to raise funds for Matt Olson, a Minnesota native who suffered a severe spinal cord injury last month while playing junior hockey for the Chicago Cougars. We invite you to visit chicagoblackhawks.com/MO3 to learn how you can donate or bid on one-of-a-kind experiences with the team. Olson's coach with the Chicago Cougars, Brad Stofers, stopped by our studios to talk about the fundraising effort.
He's on a new journey now since this injury occurred, and him and his family are going to need a lot of help, both with support, thoughts, and prayers, but also financially. So to see what we've raised, I believe it was $126,000 last I checked. It's great, and I want to look forward to watching that just grow and grow and grow over the coming months and into the rest of his life. It's amazing, just the support locally, but then now it's culminated into these 2 NHL teams that are dedicating a game to Matt. I mean, it's real special, and what they've done is just tremendous. We love to see the support, and can't wait to see the game on Tuesday.
Jake Arrieta left his last start with a blister, but that isn't the concern for the Cy Young arm heading into opening day, and a strange first inning for Sox lefty Jose Quintana as he gets ready for the regular season. You'll hear from him coming up. And Jay Cutler will have to get fitted for a Hall of Fame jacket. We'll explain when Sportsnet Central returns.
Do you have tough cleaning jobs around your house? Calcium deposits, lime, rust stains, yuck. Well, clean up fast with CLR. CLR's powerful formula blasts through tough cleaning problems inside and outside the house. It tackles buildup on shower heads, even coffee pots. And CLR has an EPA designed for the environment seal, so it's safer for your family and the planet. CLR, tough on yuck, gentle on everything else.
CLR is available at these fine stores.
One day, a rider made a decision. The decision to ride on and save money. He decided to save money by switching his motorcycle insurance to Geico. There's no shame in saving money. Ride on, ride proud. Geico Motorcycle. Great rates for great rides.
1 million here, 1 million there. That's how it's done when you choose Hollywood. Win up to $2 million cash this March at Chicagoland's hottest destinations. Every Wednesday is your shot at $1 million at Hollywood Casino Aurora. And then every Saturday, there's another $1 million up for grabs at Hollywood Casino Joliet. Play at both locations, and that $2 million could be yours. There's no place like Hollywood.
Today, spring training baseball continues on CSN as the Silver and Black step up to the plate and look to lift off against Cincinnati. White Sox versus Reds, starting at 2 on CSN. Brought to you by Canals Auto Park. Tonight on CSN, your Bulls are seeing red as they hit Orlando for a revenge-filled rematch with the Magic. Starting at 5:30 and streaming live at csnchicago.com or on the NBC Sports Live Extra app. Brought to you by Xfinity.
Our spring training coverage is brought to you by Apt, appliances, electronics, and more. Jake Arrieta has already been tabbed as the Cubs' opening day starter, but the ace left Thursday's game after just 1/3 of an inning. A blister on his thumb has the team taking precautions. Arrieta's final start of the spring is supposed to be on Tuesday. The concern, however, isn't with the thumb, but with his conditioning.
I don't know. He needs to be stretched out. I mean, he missed out some pitches yesterday. Normally that's the big pitch outing, and then you back them off before they actually start. I don't have a strong answer for that yet. I would say that he needs to get a legitimate amount of stretching out between now and that moment for us to feel comfortable with it. So let's
tomorrow, the next day, like I said, is going to be more insightful, I think.
Yeah, I'll still pitch Tuesday. I talked to PJ. He says he has something that we covered up with that'll won't be slippery like the super glue was, and that will help with the grip and being able to finish my pitches. It's not really that much of an issue. I mean, I didn't get to throw another 50 pitches, but I can make that up. If it was, if I hadn't been built up arm strength wise, maybe it could be an issue. But as far as that goes, I like where I'm at arm strength wise, and I think next time going out I'll be 80 plus. So I think as far as getting built up, I'll be just fine.
John Lester on the mound for the Cubs, hosting the Brewers. Top of the first, Lester strikes out Domingo Santana looking. Then in the third, facing Keon Broxton. Called strike 3. Lester throws 5 scoreless innings, giving up 2 hits with a walk and 2 Ks. Still no score in the 6th with runners on the corners and 1 out. Chris Bryant lines one to the gap in left center. Tommy LaSella scores 1-0 Cubs on Bryant's double. Anthony Rizzo is the next batter, and he hits a line drive to the other gap in right center field. Matt Caesar scores, so does Bryant. A 2-run double for Rizzo makes it 3-0 Cubs. So we move to the 7th. Hector Rondon comes in on relief. Rondon punches out Santana and pitches a perfect inning. That's back-to-back clean outings for the Cubs closer. Bottom of the 7th. Munenori Kawasaki hits a liner past Colin Walsh into left field. Kawasaki cruises into second for a double and gets a bow from Hernan Perez. Top of the 9th now, Clayton Richard comes in with a 4-0 lead, and he proceeds to give up 5 earned runs, capped off by this Kirk Neuenhuis 2-run double. The Brewers score 5 runs in the 9th and come back to beat the Cubs 5-4. Here's Lester critiquing his outing.
Definitely wasn't as good as last time as far as stuff and location and all that, but kind of masked that pretty well. But sometimes you have starts like that, especially now. You feel like you're going pretty well, and then your body lets you know it's spring training.
A great spring training pitching match with the Sox taking on the Mariners, Felix Hernandez and Jose Quintana. The King hasn't allowed a homer in either of his first 2 starts, so something's got to give, right? Well, right out the gate, Adam Eaton gives. Well, he gives up on that changeup, going down looking. Later in the first, things get strange. Jose Quintana on the bump, early trouble as Nori Aoki sends it back up the middle. After multiple throws over to keep him close, Quintana commits the balk to send him to second. Then check this out, not 1, but 2 wild pitches in a row. The first bouncing into the stands on a dropped 3rd strike. Then another bouncing off Robinson Cano's bat, putting 2 runners in scoring position. After a sac fly, more strangeness. Tyler Saladino boots the dribbler to short. Everybody's safe. Seattle takes the 2-run lead. Hernandez cruised right along through 6 scoreless, but a welcome sight for the Sox as he exits. Here comes Jacob DeFreitas. And here comes the Sox. With 1 out, Saladino starts the rally with a single after a pair of walks load the bases. Austin Jackson, can I kick it? Yes, you can. The grand slam from the former Mariner. His 2nd homer of the spring puts the Sox up 2, and after a Nelson Cruz 2-run shot sends it to extras, Leonis Martin continues the slugfest, sending everyone on home with the walk-off solo homer. Sox fall 5-4. Here's Quintana about his first inning struggles.
It was a surprise for me because I keep working in that pick off and better move, and say I moved my feet at 45 the angle, and it called a bug. But try to keep going with that, and next time I also better looking when they call a bug.
Did they explain to you what you did? What they said?
The chief umpire say I moved my body to home plate. So, that's happen, and next time better.
The Bears will continue their quest for depth with the tight end position. The organization offered a 3-year deal to Josh Hill, but as a restricted free agent, the Saints had 5 days to match the offer, and they did. As of right now, Zach Miller is penciled in as the starter. And a nice honor for Bears quarterback Jay Cutler this afternoon, who was inducted into Vanderbilt's Hall of Fame. A ceremony was held during halftime of the Commodores' black and gold spring game. Cutler started 45 games while at Vandy and was the SEC Offensive Player of the Year as a senior. He's also one of only 2 Vanderbilt players since 1986 to be selected in the first round of the NFL Draft. The surging Pistons are putting the sliding Bulls in the rear view. Detroit puts on a first-half show against the Hornets, and the Warriors need to finish 9-2 down the stretch to break the Bulls' 72-win record. We'll check in on Steph Curry and company when Sportsnet Central returns.
Taking your daughter to a game in San Antonio could be a special trip, but hotels can be expensive. If you visit Priceline, get a great deal and go.
And remember, little girl, the key to success is hard work and a great attitude.
And that's life advice from the Admiral David Robinson.
If you don't go.
Anyway, kid, I guess what I'm saying is success is just failure. That hasn't happened yet.
And that's life advice from Latrell Sprewell.
Whatever's on the line, Priceline.
Here's a pass to Zetterberg, he scores!
The Red Wings live where you do. The Blackhawks live where you do. When you have NHL Center Ice, you can follow your favorite teams and players no matter where you live. With up to 40 out-of-market games a week, it's like having a season ticket to the NHL from the comfort of your home. The Penguins live where you do. NHL Center Ice. The game lives where you do. For the lowest price of the season, call 1-800-GET-SPORTS.
Hey, Kia buyers, now get double the savings, double the selection from Willowbrook Kia and Berwyn Kia.
Serving the Chicagoland area with excellent value, service, and selection.
You learn a lot about a company from the people that work there. Most of our staff has been with us over 10 years.
I mean, just check out all our 5-star reviews.
Been turned down by other car dealers? Don't worry. We are the bank. We look at your future, not your past.
Double the savings, double the selection at Willowbrook Kia on Route 84 and Berwyn Kia on Ogden and Harlem.
Hi gang, Poogie here. And well, me, I'm kind of a little guy.
But Poogie in Downers Grove is definitely one of the big guys with a big guy selection.
And little guy personalized service.
Get a brand new Volkswagen Passat with 0% financing for 60 months, plus a $1,250 Volkswagen reward card. Get the Poogie price and save. Giving you the best of both worlds.
For over 25 years.
Buying a new car from Poogie can be a beautiful thing.
Poogie, Poogie.
The NCAA tourney comes to Chicago and the United Center for the Midwest Regional. The Cinderella story continues for Gonzaga or Syracuse. Top seed Virginia trying to take care of business with Iowa State. First half, Virginia up 14. Devin Hall spins, dishes to Anthony Gill for the slam. Gill scored a season-high 23 points. Second half, Cyclones down 12. George Niang with an up-and-under move. Niang led all scorers with 30, but Virginia is just too much. 3 minutes left. Hall lobs it up to Gill for the dunk. The Cavaliers stomp Iowa State 84-71. Virginia gets the winner of Syracuse and Gonzaga. 30 seconds to play. Cuse down 1. Michael Benajay drives, misses, gets his own rebound for the 2 and puts the Orange up 1. So the Zags have a chance. A crazy play. Trevor Cooney makes a steal in the corner, but the referee rules him out of bounds, and despite the replay showing him in, by rule, they can't overturn the ref's call, so it's Gonzaga's ball with another chance. But Tyler Lydon blocks Josh Perkins, and that is your ball game. Syracuse wins 63-60 and faces Virginia in the Elite Eight. Here's how the East and Midwest bracket shapes up. It's all ACC. North Carolina and Notre Dame played twice this season. The Irish won by 4 at home back in early February, but in the ACC tournament, the Tar Heels smoked them by 31 points. Virginia and Syracuse met just once, with the Cavaliers winning by 8. Back to the NBA. Charlotte and Detroit, the Pistons start the night a game and a half ahead of the Bulls in the playoff race. Detroit bringing a 4-game winning streak into their date with the Hornets, but it was all Pistons early. Reggie Jackson hooks up with Andre Drummond, building a 9-point lead out of the gate. Crazy sequence to end the half. Detroit now up by 16. Marcus Morris with the 3 of his 20 in the final seconds. Check out Kemba Walker getting his Steph Curry on, buries it from beyond half court. Part of his game-high 29 The Pistons score a season-high 72 in the first half alone on their way to a 112-105 win. That's 5 in a row for Detroit. So Detroit's lead over the Bulls for the final playoff spot is now at 2 games. The Pacers are percentage points ahead of the Pistons for the 7th seed, and 1 game separates the Celtics, Heat, and Hornets. The Bulls try to snap their 2-game losing streak when they play the Magic tonight here on CSN. We'll get you set with the pregame live show at 5:30. Neil and Stacy have the call at 6 on your home for Bulls basketball, Comcast Sportsnet. The Warriors chasing the Bulls' 72-win record coming into their game against the Mavericks with a 64-7 record, 1 game ahead of the 95-96 Bulls pace. Cool moment before the game, David Lee honored in his first visit to Oracle Arena as a Maverick, getting his championship ring from Steph Curry. But then it was right back to business as the Splash Brothers put on their usual display of wacky threes. Along the way, Curry set an NBA record by hitting a 3 in 142 straight games. Thompson set a new career high, breaking last year's total, and the Warriors set a new NBA team record. Dallas hung around to the end, but of course, a Thompson 3 puts it out of reach. The Splash Brothers combined for 73 points on 14 made threes as Golden State wins 128-120. They're now 65-7. Time now for the plays of the day, presented by Lexus. We go to the tennis courts of Miami for number 3. Top-ranked Novak Djokovic with the fault on the serve, but he follows it up with the pocket catch of the lob. Risky move by Djokovic. No tennis balls were harmed. The Serb wins in straight sets. Number 2, college hockey. Notre Dame and Michigan. JT Compher with a nasty feed to the Blackhawks prospect Tyler Mott for the game winner. Check it out again. No look behind the pass pad to Mott to send the Wolverines to the regional final with the 3-2 win. And we hit the diamonds for our top play. D-backs and Indians. Shelby Miller with a glove save and a beauty on the liner back to the mound. Take another look. The behind the back, behind the leg snag. Miller acting like he's been there before. Robbie Grossman, tip your cap. On Thursday, it was a mime, and on Friday, there were cubs at the Cubs. Like really baby bear cubs at Sloan Park. The Cuddly Buddies were from Arizona Wildlife Park and made the cameo at spring training. So once again, the unorthodox antics of Joe Madden win the internet, and reportedly one of the little fellas actually peed on Anthony Rizzo, so there's that. Thanks for joining us for Sportsnet Central, presented by CLR. For all your sports news 24/7, stay logged on to csnchicago.com.
Do you have tough cleaning jobs around your house? Calcium deposits, lime, rust stains, yuck. Well, clean up fast with CLR. CLR's powerful formula blasts through tough cleaning problems inside and outside the house. It tackles buildup on shower heads, even coffee pots. And CLR has an EPA designed for the environment seal, so it's safer for your family and the planet. CLR, tough on yuck, gentle on everything else.
CLR is available at these fine stores.
Get springtime savings at Apt on products for your entire home, like this Whirlpool front-load washer and dryer, now $5.88 each. This Samsung 24-inch HD TV for $149, or this Tempur-Pedic Queen mattress, now just $19.99. At Apt, every purchase is backed by our 80-year history and commitment to customer service. We offer expert installation, an incredible product selection, and free delivery. Apt, pleasing people since 1936.
If you're looking for a car that drives you and takes the wheel right from your very hands, this isn't that car. The first and only car with direct adaptive steering. The 328 horsepower Q50 from Infiniti. Lease the all-wheel drive Infiniti Q50 for $309 a month. Visit your Chicagoland Infiniti retailer.
Sometimes late at night I get a craving. And when I get like this, there's only one man who can satisfy my needs. Mr. Sub.
Mr. Submarine is open late every night. Whenever the urge strikes for a tasty sandwich with delicious ingredients on bakery fresh Toronto bread, dive into deliciousness with Mr. Submarine.
Beautiful weather and a packed house here at Sloan Park, the spring home of the Cubs in Mesa, Arizona. And we're set for Cactus League action today as the Cubs host the Milwaukee Brewers. And spring training baseball on CSN is presented by Canals Auto Park. And great to have you with us alongside Jim DeShays. I'm Len Casper. Busy offseason for the Cubs, and a very potentially underrated move was signing Ben Zobrist, Joe Maddon's favorite player of all time.
Yeah, he calls him a Zorilla. Ben Zobrist, if you ask baseball fans one word to describe Zobrist, they would say versatility, but that may not be giving him his due. Not only is he versatile, but he's awfully good wherever you put him in the field. He's played a lot of infield, a lot of outfield throughout his career. He can play short, second, all the outfield positions. He's DH, and he's a good offensive player, too. He hits for average. He works a lot of walks, rarely strikes out. That's important when you consider the rest of this Cubs lineup, and he's really good in the room as well. So what a career it has been for Ben Zobrist, and he'll be a big addition to this Cubs team.
So he's going to be in the leadoff spot today, but JD, it's possible when the season starts we could see him in the 3 spot. Remember, we saw Chris Coughlin there on occasion.
He is baseball's version of duct tape. He'll play anywhere. You can put him anywhere in the lineup, and he's going to help you out.
All right, John Lester will get the start for the Cubs today. We are less than a week away from breaking camp. 1 week from today, we'll be in Las Vegas. It's the Cubs hosting the Milwaukee Brewers. Cactus League action from the Valley next.
Attention, if you currently have life insurance, you could be overpaying for your policy. Call now to find out how you can save up to 100% of your money with return of premium life insurance from Senior Life Insurance Company. If you own a typical life insurance policy, you see no cash unless you die. With return of premium life insurance, you receive back 100% of all premiums at the end of the term period. That's right, you get back all the money you paid. That's 100% return of your money. Return of premium life insurance offers protection if you need it, and 100% cash back if you don't. Other companies talk about saving you money, but with return of premium life insurance from Senior Life, you receive all your money back.
To get a free rate quote, call 1-800-771-2596 now. You have no obligation. Return of premium life insurance from Senior Life Insurance Company. Call the number on your screen now.
Chamber of Commerce weather once again, 81 degrees here in Mesa, and we're expecting another sellout crowd here at Sloan Park and more fun in the morning. As the Cubs were ready to stretch today, they brought a couple of new friends, literally Bear Cubs. And the team, and I guess they're going to recruit the fans as well this summer to name these little guys. 10 weeks old, still learning how to walk. They did find their voice, though. Adorable.
I love that tweet by John Baker, 3 generations of Cubs with David Ross, Rizzo, and the little baby Bears.
Cubs with a 16-14 victory last night over the San Francisco Giants in a wild affair in Scottsdale. And right back at it this afternoon against a team they'll see quite a bit in the regular season, the rebuilding Milwaukee Brewers. So the Cubs take the field behind left-hander John Lester. He is working with David Ross. And let's check in on Craig Counsell's Brewers starting lineup. Keon Broxton trying to grab that center field spot. He's had a really good spring. Veteran Aaron Hill is at third. Jonathan Lucroy, could he be traded at some point? We'll get into that a little later. Santana's in right. Chris Carter will be their first baseman. Colin Walsh trying to grab a bench spot. Same for Ramon Flores. Same for Yadiel Rivera. And Michael Blazek in for the right-hander Jimmy Nelson, who came down with some sort of illness and was scratched for today's start.
And we'll set the Cubs defensively for you now. Outfield features Kyle Schwarber, Jason Hayward, and Jorge Soler. Third to first will go Chris Bryant, Munenori Kawasaki, Ben Zobrist, Anthony Rizzo. David Ross will do the catching, and on the mound is the big lefty John Lester. 1-0 with a 5.14 ERA. Last time out, worked 5 innings, allowed a couple of runs, threw the ball quite well. Last season was 11-12 with a .334 earned run average, his first year in a Cub uniform.
Chris Guccione has the plate. Doug Eddings, Seth Buckminster, and Gabe Morales are on the bases. Cubs only have one more road game. Everything else is here at Sloan Park through Wednesday. 6 games to go, plus 2 in Las Vegas, 1 in Anaheim, and then the season opener on Monday, April 4th. The Cubs are averaging 14,924 by the end of this thing. I think the average will be about 15, which is pretty incredible.
Yeah.
So Broxton will lead it off. Cubs at 8-14-1. The Brewers 11-10-1.
Get him off the dish, Rossi.
And here we go. Inside, ball 1.
Hey, you mentioned the familiarity between these two clubs, obviously playing within the same division. We see the Brewers a lot, but a lot of unfamiliar faces. So there's been a ton of turnover in that Brewer lineup.
Broxton came over from the Pirates in a trade in December. Made his big league debut with Pittsburgh last year.
Speed guy, outstanding defender, and having a nice spring with the bat.
2-1. Brewers beat the Cubs 2-1 in the Cactus League opener in West Phoenix back on March 3rd. Well, he'll use that speed as Bryant just can't get a handle on it and would have had a tough play even if he had fielded it cleanly.
Off the heel of the glove and any kind of a bobble, there's no chance to get the speedy Broxton going down the line.
So Chris charged with an error. He played left field yesterday against the Giants. Now Aaron Hill, former Blue Jay and Diamondback.
Huge lead for Broxton over at first base.
And a slide step by Lester, and the pitch is high for ball 1. Ed Cedar down at third, giving the signs. Carlos Subero is at first.
Yeah, here comes David Ross out with the conversation that he has so frequently with John, which is basically, hey, I know you're trying to be quick because of the base runner, but let's focus on home plate. Let's find the strike zone and go from there. John continues to battle those throwing issues, whether it's a pickoff throw, that something he really doesn't like to do, or handling comebackers. He has a hard time making an accurate throw to the bases. He's had a throwing error in his last start. Brewers took full advantage against him last year in one particular ball game. Broxton's got even a little more now.
And they'll try to turn it. And they cannot, as Hill beats it out. That ball was not hit particularly hard. So it'll be a fielder's choice for Hill.
Big high hop, long backhanded feed from Zobrist. Buys a little extra time for Hill, who beats the wrap there at first base. That's going to be a real challenge for middle infielders this year with the new rule regarding the neighborhood play not being quote-unquote legal, that you're going to have the ball in contact with the base at the same time. You know, plays like that, that's where the middle infielders like to try to cheat a little bit. But if you do that, you might end up with nothing.
Now the catcher, Lucroy, and he takes ball one. So, yeah, you talked about a lot of unfamiliar faces. He is a familiar one, as is Ryan Braun. Braun's coming back from a back procedure. And right now, day-to-day with stiffness in that area. There have been rumors and reports about Lucroy possibly being moved at some point. He made some comments over the winter that were brutally honest. He said he didn't love the idea of being on a club that everyone expects to lose a lot of games.
Yeah, and it's understandable. So if you're a professional, what you do is you make that statement. You hope you get moved on somewhere else where you can be in a more competitive environment. But if that doesn't happen, you still have to come to play every day. And I suspect that Craig Counsell will get nothing but that from Lucroy. He's got a great reputation.
Up the middle and into center. It's a 2-on, 1-out. Here comes Domingo Santana, the right fielder.
Lucroy, just a good, solid hitter. Covers the ball in, out, occasional power. Had a bunch of doubles a couple of years ago. Will take his walks. That's the one challenge for this guy here, Domingo Santana. Great athlete, big kid, strong, has power, runs well. Swings and misses a bunch.
Yeah, they've got some strikeout guys with Chris Carter.
What happened?
Santana will be their right fielder. Braun will move back to left.
John Lester has been an all-star 3 times. He's won 127 games in his big league career with a .355 lifetime earned run average.
One and two.
Scuffled early last year and perhaps put a little extra pressure on himself after signing the big contract. Really turned it on, though. Pitched to a .304 ERA in the second half, .236 in the month of September. Well, he was at his best down the stretch.
Called strike 3. So he freezes Santana. Fastball at 93. That's his first strikeout.
And just a little baby cutter to the outside corner. You know, he has great command of that cut fastball. He'll run it in on the hands of the right-handed hitters, but when he was looking for a called strike, that's a big weapon for him. That little back door that the hitter gives up on, and it just clings to the outside corner.
So Carter now with 2 outs. And ball 1.
Little get over curveball there that didn't quite get over, but that's a good start. That's a good 0-0 pitch for him.
Chris Carter with the Houston Astros has averaged 30 home runs a season the last 3 years. And he lines to Chris Bryant to end the inning. An error, a single, but 2 men stranded. Cubs coming up when we return.
U.S. Waterproofing has repaired thousands of leaky basements in Chicagoland. Look to us, as many of your neighbors have. Schedule your free consultation today at seepage.com. U.S. Waterproofing. A better basement starts with us.
It's only a muffin, freshly baked in store. And just one bite will have you wanting more. Introducing our deliciously sweet McCafe carrot muffins. Try one today for just $1.69.
Tonight on CSN, your Bulls are seeing red as they hit Orlando for a revenge-filled rematch with the Magic. Starting at 5:30 and streaming live at csnchicago.com or on the NBC Sports Live Extra app. Brought to you by Xfinity.
This is how I dress to get a mortgage. I just go to LendingTree. I calculate how much home I can afford. I get multiple offers to compare side by side. And the best part is, the banks come crawling to me.
LendingTree. When banks compete, you win.
Nobody's born smart. There was a time when Einstein couldn't count to 10, and Shakespeare had to learn his ABCs just like the rest of us. You stumble, slip, crawl, fall, and fail. But failing is just another word for growing. And you keep going, one foot in front of the other, one idea on top of the next, until you get it. This is learning. You only have to know one thing. You can learn anything.
16 runs on 19 hits last night for the Cubs. And a comeback win against the Giants. Here's how they'll line up today. Zobrist, Hayward, and Bryant. Rizzo, Schwarber, Soler in the middle. Ross has, per usual, catching John Lester. He'll hit 7th. Kawasaki's probably been the Cubs' best player in camp. And the pitcher hitting 9th.
Brewers defensively. Flores, Broxton, Santana, left, center, right. Hill, Rivera, Walsh, Carter, third to first. Jonathan and Lucroy behind the plate. And the pitcher this afternoon for Milwaukee is Michael Blazek. 7 games so far this spring. He's pitched to a 12.27 ERA. He'll be a member of the Brewers bullpen. The scheduled starter, Jimmy Nelson, was sick. Couldn't answer the bell here this afternoon, so Blazek will take over.
Talked about Zobrist in the open. First pitch strike called. Be really interesting to watch Joe Madden manage this very versatile roster. Not only the position players who can play a lot of different spots. As Zobrist turns on one deep to right. And it's going to one-hop the wall. And he will stop at second with a double. Picking up right where they left off last night.
A bit of a hanging breaking ball from Blazek. Pretty stroke for Zobrist.
That'll bring up Jason Hayward, who had a brief conversation with Madison Bumgarner last night over what was essentially a misunderstanding. Fastball is a strike. So he took a called third from Bumgarner. Dexter Fowler was standing at second base. Hayward kind of glanced out and nodded toward Fowler. He was asking if Fowler thought the pitch was a strike or a ball. Fowler, I guess, didn't quite understand the question. Bumgarner thought Hayward was staring at him, so he walked toward home plate and said, "Are you looking at me?" And Hayward said, no, I'm looking at Fowler.
Are you talking to me?
And I think Bumgarner thought, well, wait, if you're looking at Fowler, you must be talking about our signs or something. And so